All right. So there's a couple of notes I want to make, and the first one is I updated ping monitor. Long story short, we need to use 0.2.2. Cool. Another thing is I moved concurrently to the dependencies key because it's not really a dependency on our package. All right. So the next step is we want to finally create an app that will run for now in your Mac computer. Cool. Let's go ahead and create this package.json file inside of the dist folder that we have. And in this package.json, you'll see we have pretty much the same things that we've been using to launch our development environment. Though we see now that we have in the build part, we have now the output and an NW flavor here. Instead of being SDK, we're using the default value of normal. So in other words, we could omit this value here and it would work just like if we had it. Then we see this Mac key inside of the build, and this is because we are adding an icon to that application. Okay, so it's a package.json again that lives inside of the dist folder. Okay, so the next file is index.html, and if you recall, this is very similar to what we had at the beginning of the series, where we had this index.html file. So let me open them up side by side. So this is the one on the root of the folder, and here we'll open up the one on the dist folder. The only difference we're making here is that we're pointing to a different script here. Where we originally pointed to the dist folder and then searched for the build file, we're just using build. And the reason for that is the following. So now that we want to use the Phoenix CLI, let's call it that, that will expose this build script in our node modules folder. Okay, and this will allow us to create the application. So if I pass in a couple parameters here, meaning we're trying to build for Mac OS and we're trying to build for the 64-bit architecture, then we need to tell it where to look for the manifest that we were just talking about here. As I hit enter, you'll see Phoenix is trying to build our application, and it's going to take a while because it will need to download the nwjs binary for Mac, the architecture, and this version for this flavor. If we changed anything in here, then you'll have Phoenix Builder downloading different versions. Right? So let's give it a minute. Okay, so it finally did it. And now you can tell here that we have a heartbeat 1.0.0-Mac-x64, and we have an app here that we can run.